Anyone have any questions they would like to ask? Yes.
What is commitment for you?
What is commitment for me?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Commitment means to continue doing something when it doesn't necessarily bring you some immediate joy or happiness or pleasure or gratification. Commitment is required in whatever we do in our life. Commitment is required in relationships. Because it's not that when you're with someone at every moment it's going to be amazing. But because you know that there's something greater that you're trying to achieve together, you remain with that person. Commitment is required in devotional service. Because sometimes you're serving and there are days when you feel like you don't want to. But when we show up for Krishna, then Krishna shows up for us. And then we get more insight, more experience. Commitment is required in any endeavor or any duty that you perform in the material world. And so, if we want to live a life in which we don't feel regret, then it means we have to have commitment. I tell people the pain of discipline or the pain of commitment is uncomfortable, but the pain of regret is unbearable. So it's difficult to be committed in a world where people just jump from one thing to the next. But those who stay committed, they achieve amazing things. So it's such an important quality in the world we're living in today. Is that okay? Thank you. Yeah, either you have to count or you just say it and then I repeat it. Yes.
Hare Krishna. So when it comes to Dharma, Artha, Kama and Moksha, does it fit under any of the three modes or is it beyond the three? It fits under the three modes, right? Like in Srimad Bhagavatam somewhere, I don't remember in which chapter and which sloka. So devotional service is beyond those. So my question is, if I am working in an office, I can compromise on some work, office hours and do my devotional service. Is it alright? Because I am doing it for the Paro Dharma and I am diluting my materialistic Dharma. And I am going for some purpose. Office is paying me to go to some business trip. I go there. Okay, I am doing my materialistic Dharma. I am also doing my Paro Dharma, visiting a local temple and something. So this compromise, is it actually okay as per scriptures?
Alright. Is it okay to call in sick if there's a festival at the Hare Krishna temple and you're going to end up going to the festival? Okay, let's do a survey. Who believes that if Janmashtami is coming and you have to go to work on that day, that it is spiritually okay to call in the morning and say you are sick when actually you're jumping 6 meters into the sky in a kirtan? Who believes it's okay to call in sick? Put your hand up.
Okay.
Hopefully your boss is not in the room. Who believes it's wrong to do that?
Because they don't work, that's why.
They don't work. So is it okay or is it not?
Depends.
The answer is yes and no.
Depends.
Yes, it is okay to do it because, as you mentioned, the highest duty in the world is to pursue our spiritual life, and that's the top priority. And therefore, in life, there's always a hierarchy of principles. And therefore, the highest principle is what is beneficial to the soul. And therefore, that goes even beyond material principles of ethics and morals. However, there is something else to consider. Because what happens is if you become untruthful, if you become irresponsible, if you become uncommitted in your material duties, then what might end up happening is you take those same qualities and it starts also entering your spiritual life as well. Because whatever you do in one part of your life and whatever character you develop in one part of your life will then affect what you do in another part of your life. So if you lie for a good reason, there might be some reason to do it, but the danger is that you may develop that kind of character and think it's okay to lie. And then it might harm your spiritual life. And therefore, generally, we try to follow Dharma and Bhakti side by side. But in some acute situations, when Dharma becomes an impediment to Bhakti, and and you have a very mature outlook, then in some cases you may also give up your Dharma. But you have to be very careful. The gopis gave up their Dharma. They ran when Krishna played the flute. But they were in a very high level of spiritual purity. If we are not on that level of purity, then we may be running away, not just because of Krishna's flute, but because also we don't like the boss so much anyway. Let's use spiritual life as an excuse. We have to be careful. So the ideal is to follow Dharma and Bhakti side by side, and to do your Dharma or your duty in such a way that it contributes to your Bhakti. So, if you have to go to work on Janmashtami day, then have a festival at work. You maybe. Try to bring some spiritual element into it. Is that okay?
Maharaj, in that case, when we don't follow the Dharma, are we going to incur some karmic reactions? Because we can't
No,
counteract.
if you completely surrender to Krishna. Devarshi Bhutapta Nrinam Pitrinam Nakin Karo Nayam Rini Charajan Sarvatmanaya Sharanam Sharanyam Gato Mukundam Pariritya Kartam. This tells us that when we're born in the world, we have debts. You have debts to the demigods. You have debts to your mother and father. You have debts to the rishis. And how do you repay all of those debts? By following your Dharma. But if you surrender to Krishna entirely, then Krishna says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami masacha. I relieve you from everything. But you have to surrender. And surrender means to give your heart, your mind, your body, your everything. If you're not ready to surrender, then if you give up your Dharma, there may be certain reactions. But if you surrender, Krishna says, Moksha Yishyami, I relieve you. Because the highest Dharma is to develop love.
Maharaj, when it comes to the surrender, sorry.
But surrendering, when you say, is it always surrendering or only on that Janmashtami day surrendering?
Once you surrender, you can't go back into Maya.
When it comes to the surrender, there are two strands. One is Draupadi, how Draupadi followed, where she tried to hold on to the sari until she is completely exhausted, then left her hands. When it comes to Prahlad, he did not try to protect himself. So the ultimate surrender, even without trying, like the other stage, where the Draupadi tried to hold on and then left it. So which is the ultimate surrender?
It's not that Prahlad didn't try, but Prahlad knew that my effort in this situation will not be strong enough. So therefore he didn't even try. What chance did Prahlad have if you put him in throw him off a cliff? What endeavor are you going to make? What chance did Prahlad have if you throw him in a pit of snakes? What are you going to do? In other words, surrender doesn't mean that we don't endeavor. But it means once we've recognized the limits of our endeavor, then we say, Jo icha tomar. Now it's up to you, whatever you want. So surrender means to know the natural point at which you have to let go. And for Draupadi, that was at a certain point. And for Prahlad, that was at a certain point. And for us, that will be at a certain point. But, karmanyeva dhikalasya, you have to do your duty. You have to do your endeavor. And then at a certain point, you will realize, now it's out of my hands. Now I surrender. But you can't show up for your exams without doing any revision and say, Jo icha. Surrender now, Krishna, in the exam hall. Fully surrendered to you. It's all in your hands. Right? You have a lot of questions. I ask some others first and then we come back to you. Is that okay? Because we are in a democracy. We have to give everyone equal chance. Yes, at the back. We are bringing a mic to you because you are very gentle and very humble, so we can't hear you.
Sit on the back.
Maharaj, you said that we should be cautious of Maya and Krishna conscious. But what is the best way to protect yourself of Maya?
What's the best way to protect ourselves against Maya? There could be many answers to that. Many things give us spiritual strength. We get spiritual strength from being together. So always make an effort. Like you made an effort. You traveled all the way to come and be part of the programs. And Krishna sees you made an effort. He gives you much blessings. So make an effort. Yes, all of you came. You could have tuned in on Zoom, I think. But you didn't. You came here in person because there's a strength. There's a strength when we're together. You leave with some extra gift. So always be with devotees. Even if you have to travel, even if you have to go far, even if you have to make an endeavor. Because in this Sangha, the heart is transformed. Second thing is, spend some time with Krishna every day. Away from Maya. Only with Krishna. And those times in which you do sadhana will give you strength. And then we have to pray. You have to pray. Because we are weak. And spiritual life is like a razor's edge. So we have to pray that after many, many lifetimes, I got this opportunity to perfect it. Krishna, please, don't make me lose it this time. When I came to the Hare Krishna temple, a devotee said to me, there's good news and bad news. I said, the good news first, please. So the good news is, you were already doing this. Nothing new for you. You were there. I said, I knew there was something special about it. I said, the bad news? The bad news is you messed it up. Something went wrong. Why are we all here? It means we were doing it. But it means something went wrong. It means we got attached to something. And therefore, one more time. I don't know. Do you want to do it one more time? Go to school one more time. Do your exams one more time. Get married. That's good. That's good. I'm joking. Spiritual relationships are different. We've given so many lives to Maya. Let's give one life to Krishna. Try it out. See what happens. Anyway, if it doesn't work out, you'll have another one. Sorry about the marriage joke. You are a great team. Alright. Can we give you the mic? Just because then everyone can hear us a little. Just put your hand up. Oh, you have your hands full.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu, specifically in your situation, what called you to be in Krishna consciousness?
What called me?
Yeah. What call did you have to be in it?
Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to talk about myself. Every soul is amazing. And the first thing I want to share with you is that I don't really see that my journey is anything more special than anyone else. All of you are special. Because anyone who takes up to the spiritual path is special. Krishna says, 1 in a million. For me in my life, I was looking for 3 things. I was looking for 3 things. I was about 17 years old and I was like, if these 3 things are on in my life, there's no life. And you want to know what those were? They're the 3 A's. Authenticity, answers, and adventure. I wanted to live a life, authenticity, in which I felt like I wasn't acting. I wanted to live a life which I felt was really me, not just what everyone else wanted me to be. I wanted to live a life in which I woke up in the morning and I thought, I'm doing this because this is what I want to do. Number 2, I wanted a life in which there were answers. Why are we here? Why do bad things happen to good people? Why does this world even exist in the first place and what happens after? I wanted answers. And the 3rd thing is I wanted an adventure. I wanted to do something which would bring me experiences, which would bring me excitement, which would bring me enthusiasm in my life. A life in which I would explore, discover, and live the dream. So I was always wondering in my life, where will I find these 3 things? And then I met the Hare Krishnas. And they said to me, don't worry, you don't need to change your life. Just try, see what happens. Don't trust them. But it was very beautiful because when I spent time with them, I realized this is a life in which I can be authentic. I don't have to act. I can just be myself. This is a life in which these guys these guys got an answer for everything. It's amazing. And this life is an adventure. Because every day you have the opportunity to go out and touch someone's heart. You may or may not know it, but the spiritual wealth that you have means you can go out in the world and touch someone's heart. You can change someone's life. What can be more adventurous than that? And so I realized I can do this every day. That's amazing. So here I am, not very impressive, but at least I can be authentic. At least I found answers. And for sure, every day is an adventure in the Hare Krishna movement. You never know what's going to happen, but something's going to happen.
By curiosity, how old are you now?
How old am I now? 21. I turned 44. So I became a monk when I was 21. Started reading the Gita when I was 15 or 16. So yeah, when I was 21. I went home and said, Mom, I want to become a monk. But my mom's happy. 50%. So yeah. But everyone's journey. We all have a journey. Grihe thako, vane thako, sada hari bole thako. Whether you decide to become a sannyasi, whether you decide to get married, doesn't really matter. Grihe thako, vane thako, sada hari bole thako. Just fill your life with spiritual practice, and then it's beautiful. Being a monk doesn't make your life beautiful. Being married doesn't make your life beautiful. What makes your life beautiful is if you fill your life with Krishna. Then it doesn't matter where you are. So you can do it. You have a child, it's a gift from Krishna. But now don't just be a parent, be a spiritual parent. Because that soul was entrusted to you. Because you have to help that soul go back to Krishna in this life. But in order to help that soul go back to Krishna, first you have to make sure you're going back to Krishna. So, become Krishna conscious and share it. And in that way, it's beautiful. The grass is always greener on the other side. But actually the grass is greener where you water it. So just accept it. Wherever you are, stane stita, shruti-gatam, wherever you are, it's okay. You know, sometimes you get stuck in a traffic jam. And then you think, I'm one step ahead of everyone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the sat-nav. And I'm going to reroute to circumvent the traffic jam. And so what you do is you think you're smart. So what you do is you reroute the sat-nav and then you come off the traffic jam road and then you're just cruising and you think, one step ahead of everyone. But then 1 mile down the road, you realize that another 1,000 people were thinking the same thing. And there's a traffic jam there. And now you're in a traffic jam on the longer route. And you think, why didn't I just stay there? Dear friends, life is like this. We always think, I need to reroute and be somewhere else. Maybe, most of the time, just accept it. And just get on with the real business. Live your life. Alright, sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. we tend to do this. Thank you, Hare Krishna. All right.
She wants to have
There's many hands here, but I don't know what we want to do.
She has a
Okay,
question.
so there are two options at this point.
We take the kirtan row and probably people can come and ask the questions.
We do the kirtan now, right? I
What
think
was
so,
your question?
because otherwise we go on a long time and we want to sing, no?
Yes. Kitten.
We should sing, I think so. We are the Hare Krishnas, that's what we do. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Srila Prabhupada ki.
Jai. His Holiness Swayam Bhagavan Keshava Swami Maharaj ki. Jai.